Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Jasmine, welcome to my world, and today I have a very interesting video. I've decided to look on Quora, which those of you who don't know, it's a site on the internet where you can look up questions, you can ask questions, you can find answers to those questions. It's just one of those social media sites for curious people who want to learn a bunch of stuff. And it has all these different communities where you can learn and you can teach. And one of my favorite things to do on there is answer questions about writing. So I've decided that for today's video, I'm going to answer some questions about writing, except some questions on Quora are, let's just say that they can't be written by humans. Like, they're just, how are they so stupid? That's all I'm gonna say. My cat is trying to enter. Anyway, that being said, I actually want to bring attention to my hair. I put together this outfit. You can't see them, but I'm wearing these like combat boots that I haven't been able to wear for nearly a year because one of the shoelaces broke, and I just hadn't gotten around to ordering new shoelaces. So I got new shoelaces, and I got this hat, and I was like, I'm going to put together an outfit. My mom told me that I looked like a park ranger, so I wanted to see if I could prove her wrong. And so I did. And one thing I've noticed about my hair is it's very useful to have hair all in one side the way my hair is, because I can listen to music with one earbud and still look presentable and, what's the word? The word. It was in my head, but it's stuck. I can look presentable and I can look conscious to everything that's going on around me. Anyway, on to these questions, which I will most likely put in the description if you want to have a look at them. I'm going to be going by my phone here. I took screenshots of them. So, the first question is, how do deaf people write books? Well, honestly, if books were one of those things where you had to hear things and you had to speak, which deaf people, I know they can speak. There's some of them who have been taught how to speak, who at some point in their lives most likely could hear, so they could learn how to speak, and they could hear sounds so they can make them. They aren't the best speakers because of their hearing issues, but they can speak. And some of them I haven't heard speak. I'm not speaking for all deaf people because I'm not deaf. But I do know that anyone can write. You don't need to hear to be able to know what a word is. I'm sure deaf people have ways of learning words because, you know, there's the whole Braille thing. Like, they can learn what a letter is through, I don't know. I haven't educated any people who are deaf. I just thought this question was a little silly, because writing is just one of those things where you can see it. You can see the writing. So there has to be a way where you can do the writing as someone who can't hear words. Do successful writers have any special talents? Well, I think writing is one of them. What are some ways to make our writing more appealing to an audience without making it too appealing? Well, appealing is the definition for appealing, in my own words, as someone who knows what the word means, is to have something that you like to see, you like to hear. For instance, I'm listening in one of my ears to Michael Jackson, and I find his music enjoyable. I find it appealing to my ears. I like to listen to it. I like the lyrics. I like the tempo. I like the beat. I like everything about it. It's appealing to me. Now, can something be too appealing? No. That's not even a thing, especially in writing. Like, how can you make something too appealing? That should be the question right there. How can you make something too appealing? Now, how to make something appealing without making it too appealing? I suppose it's a good thing to make your writing so appealing that people want to see more of it. How does someone with no writing lesson or experience learn to write a book? Now, this question isn't necessarily stupid, but I do find it to be slightly silly, because writing is one of those things that we do. Most people with an education do on a daily basis. You write reports, you write papers, you write to your teachers, you do all of that writing. Pretty much everyone knows how to write, especially as they get older, they get better at writing. Now, how to write a book without any writing experience? You can't do that, because if you don't know how to write, you can't write a book. But how can you learn to write a book? First, you need writing experience, of course. You need to learn how to write. You need the writing experience. You read other books to see what you like, what kind of stories you like, what kind of writings you like, and then you see how it's done, and then you do it, and you take practice, and you can't do that without writing experience. Who are some writers that wrote about writing better than any other writer before or since? This question is one of those questions where I don't know how to answer it, because it makes no sense. Just like the writers who've written about writing better than any other writers since, it just doesn't make sense to me. But I'm deciding to give it my best shot to make this video entertaining. I'd say none of them. Because literally, the question, when I had seen it on the site, nobody had answered it, and it doesn't seem to be an answerable question. It seems like one of those questions that it sounded good in their head when they were asking, but they just couldn't get the correct words. I think what they were asking is, what writer has talked about writing the best? In that case, I don't know. There's a lot of writers that have talked about writing. I personally like C.S. Lewis, who's talked about writing before. He's talked about books, and I can really relate to what he says about books and writing, how it's a joyful experience, and it's something that a writer's full of. Is writing a novel easy? How can someone write a novel easily? Well, other people have different talents, skills. I know a skillful writer's talent is to write, so if you're a skillful writer, then you are talented in writing, so you can easily write a novel. The ideas, on the other hand, writing can be easy, but the ideas can be tricky. And how to easily write a novel? Well, I'd say you can't. It's not an easy thing to do. There's a lot of planning, there's a lot of learning, all of that. I have one more. How can someone who has never been published before start writing a novel? Maybe you should ask the people who have published before for the first time, who've published a novel, because obviously they've started writing those novels, and so they're published, and common sense says that it's possible I don't know how to publish, but I do know that that question, when I read it, it seemed a little silly because obviously it's easy because there's so many writers who have done it before. I'm not saying publishing is easy. I'm saying that it's easy to write something to publish because so many have done it. This is one of those things that's sounding better in my mind, but is not coming out quite right. I suppose what I'm saying is that it's not easy to publish, but it's easy to write. It's easier to write than it is to publish because so many other authors have published their writing. It's not impossible, and the question being like, how do you write something when you've never published? It's just like, it's just one of those things, I guess. Well, thank you for coming and watching this video. I hope it was entertaining. Thing is, the way I was answering these questions, I was trying to answer them the best way I could, but I was also trying to make the idea for this video was more of a to entertain you kind of thing. And yeah, I would love to answer more questions in the future, less of a way of showing some humor, but more of a way of enlightening you. And I'm sure this video was enlightening. If you're one of those people who've thought of these questions before and wanted to know, I hope you know that the reason why they seem silly to me is because I'm a writer, and writing is just one of those things that just seems to come naturally to me, and I've done quite a bit of it. I'm not a published author. I have shared my writing, and so I know how to write something that people will enjoy. And then there's just some of those questions, just like either they weren't worded properly, or they were just one of those questions that I believe someone had used an AI to ask, because that is done on social media sites. You can buy accounts, AI-made accounts that will like your posts on, say, Instagram, or will comment things on reviews. You can pay people. You can do a lot of things. And I believe that some people have decided, oh, I'm going to get a Quora account, and I'm going to see how many views I can get by buying an AI that will ask these questions, but does it like randomly and doesn't necessarily, you don't necessarily read the questions before they get posted, I guess. I'm not 100% sure all of the AI stuff, but anyway, I hope you like this video, and when you get a chance, there is the Wednesday bonus where I'm pretty much saying hello and talking about something I'd like to do for the future of Wednesday bonuses. And until next Friday, I will see you. Bye!